All right, what's going on, everybody? Brad Sarver here. It is about 8 o'clock here in the great state of Arizona. Appreciate you jumping on here tonight. I'm going to keep this as tight as possible. I've got a lot of content I want to share with you guys. Obviously, as a lot of you know, I was in San Diego this past weekend with, some of the team. We went out to the Next Level Leadership weekend that Tom Alcazan did, and I got to be honest with you guys. I've been in Vemma now for 2.5 years, but really been around for 10 years, been to tons of conventions, tons of events, probably hundreds of events, and I honestly think this was the best event I've ever been to in terms of content and what we learned, and that's not even an exaggeration. I've heard that echoed from a lot of the other leaders that were there, and it really was a phenomenal thing, and I came out of that, as well as Jordan Waldo, Ryan Bradshaw, Mallory, Christine, Melissa, and Aaron. That was our group that went. All of them who you guys probably heard on the call last night. Obviously, we were all positively impacted. But here's what I want to share with you guys. As I said in the post that I put up on Facebook earlier, there's a few key topics I want to cover with you guys that I think are really going to be extremely impactful. My goal for this thing is to give you the facts that's going to help you develop what I would call a bulletproof mindset. Something that's going to help you have that unshakable belief level. And I'm going to give you guys some facts. So I want to give you a second, if you haven't already. You're going to want to write down a few of these things, and I'm going to try to go as fast as possible. So if you miss something, shoot me a message on Facebook, and I'll follow up with you. But guys, understand this. In this industry, confidence isn't going to come until you understand the power of what this is. Until you understand the power of leverage, the power of residual income, and the power of the network marketing industry in general, what you're involved with, you're never going to really have the confidence. And so that's what I'm going to give you tonight. You know, something that really struck me over the weekend is that the world doesn't really understand what we do. The world just does not get network marketing. And you know what? To me and Eric Worre, that's the best part about this industry. The world doesn't get it. You guys understand this. If everybody out there was a huge fan of network marketing, we would not have an opportunity. We wouldn't have the ability to earn the pay that we do. If everybody loved it, we would get paid minimum wage to do it. Okay, this is something that revolves around the fact that the world doesn't get it. That is the benefit. Hopefully you guys can see that. Sometimes, I know you all can relate to this, all right? Sometimes it's literally going to feel like, you're driving down the highway the wrong way. You're driving into traffic, and people are going to start glaring at you. People are going to be honking at you. They're going to be yelling and waving at you. But guys, think about this. What if everybody else are the ones driving the wrong way? All right, let that sink in. That's where we're at right now with network marketing. We are not doing something that's super popular, and that's where the opportunity lies, okay? Listen, I'm going to preface everything else I'm going to say tonight with this. This business, I am not presuming that you want to treat Vemma like your full-time profession, like a career full-time like I do, or that you want to go really, really fast like I do. The good news is all this information, this is going to be something that's going to be effective for you, whether you're doing Vemma 5 hours a week or you're doing Vemma 50 hours a week. So I hope you guys are you're ready for this. First thing I want to cover is, some of you guys probably saw last week, I'm just going to get right into this. The media, what the media says about network marketing, and specifically right now Vemma. Honestly, we're making some noise, you guys. When you see Vemma on the Arizona Republic or a national TV, show, y'all understand we are making waves. We're making noise. Small companies that aren't doing anything, they don't get featured on TV. But here's some things I really want to cover with you in case you have some people, or maybe you yourself were shaken in your belief level with the news stories that have come out in the last couple weeks. Tom Alcazan said it perfectly this week. Same story, different year. And he told us a story about when he was first getting started in the industry back in the 70s, Amway. He said the first couple of weeks that he got started in Amway, there was a huge story on the cover of the New York Times saying that Amway was being investigated by the federal government and they were going to be shut down. And that was the headline, 2 or 3 weeks into his career. And, obviously what ended up happening is Amway sued the government. They went to court. Amway was cleared. Our industry has been growing and rock solid ever since. Of course, there are some bad apples out there, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. But here's the reality, you guys. When it comes to complaints against Vemma, I'm gonna go into the law. I'm gonna share with you guys what the law, the legal wording is, and I want to assure you guys, I'm going to show you here in a second that Vemma, as far as the law is concerned, we are completely on the right side of things. We're in the clear. We are right in line with what the law says, which is great. But the interesting thing is the news media, I really believe, they're not interested in truth. They're interested in sensationalism. They're interested in hype. They're interested in negativity. I'm one of those people. Maybe you can relate to me a little bit. I have always been skeptical about what I see on the news. Some people eat that stuff right up. Some people love what they just gobble it up and they soak it in. I've always been skeptical about what I've seen on the news. And this, I don't have time to get into all the details on that news story that came out on the Today Show, but if you want to, you can call me and I'll go into it. I'll destroy it, obliterate their entire thing with facts. But here is the facts on the industry. Okay, I'm going to give you the real facts on the network marketing industry in general. And, before I go into that, I want to present to you a reality that's also a problem. And my goal is that our team and you, if you're watching, can really play a part in changing this reality. Think about this. And this is really why I think a lot of negativity or these news stories come out. Depending on who you might talk to, it's a different Vemma that's presented. Okay, that is our problem. Vemma is different depending on who you talk to. A new person's experience with Vemma is entirely different depending on who they're talking to. That is the problem. And so I'm going to present to you some ideas that I think will go a long way towards getting everybody on a more professional level. But here's the reality, okay? Facts on the industry. If you're taking notes, this is going to be where you're going to want to take notes. You'll hear people say, no one makes any money in those things. You'll hear people say, oh, only people at the top make money in those things. That's a pyramid scheme. Only people at the money make all the top. Well, let me explore that, shall we? Facts on the industry. 2013, network marketing did $169 billion, with a B, billion dollars globally in sales. All right, that is bigger than professional sports and Hollywood combined. Obviously, we're a huge industry. Huge amounts of sales occurring. Now, here's the interesting thing. Out of that, approximately average out across all the companies, about 40% of that revenue was paid out in commissions to people like us. 2013, approximately $74 billion was paid out to people like us. Okay, so obviously, is it fair to say? I think there is definitely people making money. Definitely people making money, unless you consider $74 billion to not be any money. So you've got the facts. When someone idiot out there, I mean, some person says, "Hey, no one makes any money." Well, let's explore that, shall we? You've got the ammunition now. You know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. $74 billion paid out. Now, let's dissect that a little bit for the people that say only the people at the top make all the money. Here's the facts, if you would care to partake in factual discussion. $74 billion last year paid out. That equates to $16 billion per month paid out in commissions. $1.42 billion per week paid out in commissions. $200 million on a daily basis is paid out globally to people in the network marketing profession. Okay? Here's the interesting thing. Here's the math. Approximately 500 people globally, only 500 people in the network marketing industry make $1 or $2 million a year or more. Okay? Less than 500 people. Approximately 500 people are making $1 or $2 million plus per year. So doing the math, that equates to approximately $1 billion So people, the ultra successful people in network marketing, you know, people say only the people at the top make all the money. Let's look at the math. 500 people make more than $1 million a year. That equates to approximately $1 billion. So that leaves us a tiny little $73 billion left. Okay, I think it looks to me like the people at the top make actually less money, okay, based on the facts. All right, let's explore it a little bit more. $73 billion left. Only about 10,000 people in the network marketing profession make over $100,000 a year. Okay, so doing the math there, it adds up to approximately $2 billion paid out to people that make over $100,000 a year. Okay, so we just took out $3 billion out of the top. That leaves $71 billion, or about $195 million per day, split up, spread out. Let's spread the wealth, shall we? Amongst people that make between $500 to $10,000 a month. So that right there proves, that is the facts. When people say that silly thing, only people at the top make all the money, it's just not true. That is not true. These are the facts as presented to us by Eric Worre from Network Marketing Pro. It was phenomenal having him in the house. He had so much more to say. I don't have time to get into it right now, but what a phenomenal, amazing thing it was to have him talk about all of these things, the numbers, the industry. He absolutely dismantled the Today Show piece that played. I don't have time to get into it, but right now, if you wanted to argue it a little bit, I would encourage you to look up the numbers of students that go to journalism school. I would love to debate Matt Lauer, the guy from the Today Show. I mean, it was absurd. But we could debate the journalism students. How many of those drop out of college? They still have to pay for the part that they went to college. How many of the ones that graduate actually get a job for that degree? How many people that go to journalism school actually get a job that pays more than 6 figures? Tiny, tiny percentage. And how many journalism students that get a job end up becoming, like Matt Lauer, a multimillionaire? I guarantee you it's far less than in network marketing. So that would be an argument I would love to have, a debate I would love to have, but regardless, I digress. I'll get back to the point of this thing. We have the ammunition. One thing that I want to encourage you guys throughout this whole night is to become a student of the industry. That's how you're going to, truly have that unshakable belief, that unshakable confidence. Become a student of the industry. My first recommendation to you guys, I have a few of these, but subscribe to Eric Worre on YouTube. Network Marketing Pro on YouTube is a phenomenal channel. I watch it every day. He's always coming out with great videos. They shot a couple videos in San Diego. And then go on YouTube, do that. And then one of the biggest things is, if you haven't already, get this book and study it. Reading it once is not enough. It's got to be something that's repeatedly read. And this is actually a signed copy. Eric Worre signed this one, and I'm giving this to a few people on the team, so I'm excited about that one, that Eric Worre was able to sign those. But listen, become a student of the industry, follow Eric Worre, get on the GoPro. All right, I want to move on to a different subject, the economics of the business world. Why does network marketing make sense? And this all plays into how you should have this unshakable belief in what you're doing with network marketing. Why network marketing? All right, it has all of the traditional benefits of a traditional business with none of the risks. Okay, what we have in network marketing is cash flow. We have a viable long-term business strategy. We have a mobile business, and the ability to earn a stable long-term income. Meanwhile, none of the risks of a traditional business, because in network marketing, and specifically Vemma, you have zero capital. In the grand scheme of things, the money to start your Vemma business I would consider it nothing, because you're purchasing product for yourself. If you want to get specific, $500 to start a business, that can yield 7-figure results, 6-7-figure results. That's a very lucrative business. It's a very attractive option for successful people that understand business. Now, I want to go into a couple of these things, your options, and I think we can all agree 2014 and beyond, it really is not up for debate anymore. Being an entrepreneur is the way to go. I mean, especially if you're a young person, the future is going to be purely based on what can you produce as a person. What can you produce out there? And you know, that's really what I think is you know, a major factor. What can you produce out there? And so being an entrepreneur is obviously the way to go. And if that's the case, you're really left with a few options. You can start a business, you can buy a business, you could buy a franchise. All of those options are, you're talking about average startup cost of $100,000. And I mean, I don't know about you, I don't have $100,000, I don't have $1 million sitting around. And you know, there's a 95% fail rate in traditional business. So to me, it makes no sense to open a traditional business right now. I've seen people come into Vemma and quit Vemma to go start a traditional business. To me, that's crazy because you're talking about a 95% fail rate with, you know, arguably a lot more money that you're going to have to put into it. So to me, if you're in the industry, you're in Vemma, stick with it. We're going to keep going. You know, technology eliminating jobs left and right. The workplace is unsafe. These days, to succeed in corporate America, I mean, you have to have more than just a degree. You've got to have you got to be good at politics. You've got to be good at kissing butt. You've got to be good at navigating the waters of the corporate America, you know, workplace. It just is not an attractive option for me, and I think a lot of people feel the same way. So I look at the network marketing industry as a very viable option for successful entrepreneurs. They know what a successful business looks like, and to me, the low startup costs of network marketing in Vemma specifically, because all the money you're spending is on your own product. That's it. Here's a couple of interesting things, you guys. People, when you're out there, you might encounter a few people that bring up, you know, again, these silly things, which we debunked already a few minutes ago, but, you know, talking about, oh, you know, not many people make money, whatever. Here's something really fascinating, and it's so interesting. You know, people are afraid of this little, you know, pyramid. They're afraid of the shape, which is so dang silly. You know, I feel like I'm preaching to the choir, but I have to say it anyway. Every organization, every government structure, every company, every corporation, every church is in the shape of a dang pyramid. There's nothing wrong with the pyramid. The thing that people get hung up on is what they think is happening in the pyramid. They think the newest person at the bottom is getting screwed by the people at the top, and it's just not the case. And I'll go into that a little bit later. But think about this, you guys. I was a real estate agent prior to getting involved with Vemma. I sold houses for about 5-6 years. And I saw a crazy statistic that was shown to us this past weekend. It costs about, I think it cost me maybe $2,000 when it was all said and done to get started in real estate. And that's fine. I was glad to do it. But here's the interesting thing. This is from the Association of Realtors. A normal profession, people accept, it's not a scam, that nobody calls real estate a scam. 94% of new real estate agents never sell a single property. That is the stats from the actual Association of Realtors. 94%. I think that today's show ought to do an expose on that. That sounds a little sketchy to me. I don't know about you. But that's the hypocrisy. I want you guys to understand you are in a rock solid, the most fair business I've ever seen in my life. This is the most fair and best way to get compensated in today's economy. Network marketing, it just doesn't get better. I want to encourage you guys to go to networkmarketingpro.com. Look into going to the GoPro Network Marketing Mastery event in Las Vegas. I'm going to be there. It's in November. I encourage you guys to go. I learned so much from Eric Worre in 1 hour. Can't cover it all. All right, got to move on, you guys. Covering a couple of objections. Want to cover a couple of things that you need to know in your Vemma business, whether you're new or whether you're teaching and training other people. There are 6 things I want you guys to know about Vemma that puts Vemma on the right side of the law when it comes to the legal definition, the legal side of what's going on out there, and why Vemma is legal and in no danger of being investigated or anything like that. We're on the right side of the law, and here's why. 6 things. Number 1, we have a legitimate, physical, tangible product. And I'll go into that a little bit. I've been on the product for 10 years, you guys. I have people in my organization that have been on the product 8, 9 years. They love the product. If our product had no value, then I'd be worried. If our product had 0 value, nobody ordered it repeatedly, the product sucked and had no value, I would be concerned. But Vemma, this is the best products in the world, you guys. Like I said, people order it month after month because they love it. This is a free market business. If people didn't like our product, we would not be in business after 10 years, period, okay? Number 2, we do not get paid by the act of recruiting. In other words, there are companies out there that charge a recruitment fee or a membership fee that I would get paid if I enrolled Ryan Bradshaw into my business as a distributor. I would charge him a recruitment fee for which I would get paid even if he didn't buy any product. Vemma does not operate that way. We have no recruitment fee. We do not get paid to recruit. We have no membership fees, okay? Number 3, we are only paid on product sales. Guys, welcome to 2014. This is the era of production. If you don't know how to sell, I don't care if you're in Vemma or whatever you're doing out there, especially if you're young, under the age of 30 or 25, you've got to learn how to sell. That is the future of how people are going to be paid in our economy. Got to be able to produce, got to be able to sell. In Vemma, we are only paid when a product sells. Nothing can happen until something is sold. Number 4, we have no front inventory loading. That means we don't have to buy $4,000 or $5,000 worth of product and stack it up in our garage and go out and deliver it to people. That's a red flag. Number 5, we have a return policy that literally bends over backwards to take care of people. I've seen Vemma really do some amazing things. That puts us on the right side of the law. Number 6, we have no fees whatsoever for anything. Okay, we as far as the law is concerned, we are in great shape, you guys. The media can say whatever they want. They are going to bark at this train. People can say whatever they want. We're on the side of the law. That's what matters. Okay. All right. Here's my advice, you guys. As we move forward, we've been around this thing for a couple of years now. Obviously, we have a lot of YouTube videos. There's trainings. We've put a lot of our knowledge out there online for the world to see, and I think we've kind of shot ourselves in the foot a little bit by doing that. And so my advice is to run silent, run deep. That's what Tom Alkhausen said. Let's get quiet. Let's go underground with the way that we're doing our business. Guys, no company on the face of the earth puts out for the world to see how they're doing business. That's called proprietary information. It's called intellectual property. We should be a little bit more quiet about what we're doing as far as making YouTube videos, putting training things out there for the world to see. I really think we need to become a little bit more professional, a little bit more under the radar about what we're putting out there. Just Tom Alkhausen, putting that out there, and I have to agree with him so much, you guys. So is this a pyramid scheme? Ultimately, obviously, I just went through all that stuff, but for you out there watching this right now, I've got to be honest with you. I don't get that response very often over the last 2.5 years, and I really think the reason why is that I have a just rock solid, unshakable belief in the industry, in myself, in Vemma, in my dad and mom, and how they've built the business over the last 9 years or so. I just have this unshakable belief, and so if you're getting that, we need to work on some other things, and I'll go into that a little bit later. But if you're getting that, here's what I want you to think about. First of all, you need to analyze your belief level. Hopefully, this hangout's going to help. You've got to analyze your belief level. How solid is your belief? Because if it comes across as a little bit shaky, people are going to question you. Okay. But here's what I want you guys to think. I picked up this book that I actually gave to a couple people too. Objections Handled. Okay? Sample Scripts for Network Marketers by Monty Taylor. This book is absolute gold. Go on Amazon.com or MontyTaylor.com. Pick that up. This guy was in San Diego. He talked. But here's what he said. somebody says to me, hey, it's a pyramid scheme, or hey, is this a pyramid scheme? Here's what I would say. I would say, you know what, that is a really great question. I'm glad you brought that up. Are you concerned about pyramid schemes, or have you had an experience with one? And then I'm going to shut up and see what they say. And I'm going to respond, whatever they say, by saying this. I'm going to say, listen, sometimes there's articles out there, there's things out there about pyramids. This isn't one of them. Vemma is a legitimate, viable business, period. So other than your question about pyramid schemes, which this isn't, is there anything else you're concerned about? Okay, that's how I'm going to overcome really any objection, by saying, listen, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a great question. It's a really important question. Is that a concern of yours? I acknowledge it. I validate it. I say, hey, I appreciate your question. Sometimes that rumor is out there. This isn't one of those. Do you have any other concerns? And I move on. That's it, you guys. Pretty simple stuff. Get Objections Handled if you want to. I started reading that. It's phenomenal. So I want to move on to Bob Proctor. I've got to be honest with you guys, and I'm going to bring Ryan Bradshaw on here in a second. I know he's on here right now. He's going to share a few things. Bob Proctor, there's a guy, pretty famous guy, talks a lot about the mental game, the mindset, goals, law of attraction. I have to be honest with you guys, for a while I kind of just didn't really buy into much of that stuff. I was kind of just of the opinion that, hey, I'm going to go out and work really hard, and that's going to be enough to get the job done. And what I found is that personal development is absolutely important. You're going to hit a wall. I'm going to let Ryan talk on that. But Bob Proctor talked about some things. I've got to tell you, I'm going to share with you something very specific that I think will help you. And I know some of you guys are going through this right now. Some of you right now, and Bob talked about this, have hit what is called a terror barrier. The terror barrier. You have hit a wall in your mind. You're scared. You've got fear, worry, and anxiety. Maybe your cycles are going backwards. All right? Your terror barrier, what that is, you guys, that is it is your new ideas. It's stuff like this that we're talking about, bouncing off of your old paradigm. You haven't yet really bought in. You really haven't. And I know because I've been there. I haven't. There was a time a few months ago where I was going through this. My new thoughts about how great this was in network marketing, it was bouncing off of my old way of thinking. I was experiencing fear. I was experiencing worry and anxiety to the point where it's making me sick. You've got to get through that. And one way that I don't have time to get into it right now, but I highly encourage you guys to pick up this book, You Were Born Rich by Bob Proctor. I've never been a fan of Bob Proctor, guys, up until this weekend. I have to tell you, it was phenomenal. But I want to get Ryan Bradshaw on here for you guys that know Ryan. He's an executive leader on our team. He's one of the hardest working people. Ryan, if you're out there, brother, let me know. I think you're there, but yeah, you're here. So
yep, I'm here.
All right, brother. Hey, why don't you? Well, let me introduce you real quick, guys. Ryan's gonna talk for like 5 minutes and share his personal story. He's one of the hardest working people in Vemma, period. And he and I kind of had a similar, I think, a similar experience where we didn't really buy into personal development and some of these things. Relied on hard work alone. And Ryan, why don't you share with everybody what we talked about earlier, man? And then I know you got to hit the road, so I know you got to jump off here. But thank you for being on here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Really excited right now. In fact, for me, for everybody out there watching, I am more excited right now than I was when I first got started in January 2013. And what's kind of funny about me is that, just to give you guys a little bit of background about myself here real quick, for those of you that don't know, I know it looks like I have 4 chins because of the way I have to look down right now, but that's okay. And I started this business because of Jordan Waldo, and I watched him, and I started he approached me. I turned it down. 3 months later, I decided, hey, why not? Because if Jordan can probably make this work, I can probably make it work. My whole life, I've built businesses on hard work. And, I was taught, which my dad, who was awesome, my dad was very good about teaching me, if you wanted to have something, just work harder than the person sitting next to you. That's what he always said to me. And when I got into network marketing, that's what I did. And I was able to build I was able to build a very substantial business in Vemma just off of hard work in the beginning. When I started January 2013, we went really crazy with it. I started with my best friend, Neil Wood. We got some of our friends involved, and we all thought we were going to be driving Beamers by June of 2013. It was going to be great. We were all going to be ambassadors, and we got the harsh reality check within the first year. And now most of my friends aren't still involved, and I've rebuilt with new friends, I've got to know new people, built new networks, new organizations, and about April of this year, which is ironic because it was right after the Vegas convention, I literally started going way backwards. And up until April of this year, I was building, building, building. I always went up in cycles. I got all the way up to 118 cycles. I hovered there for a second, and then I went down. Went all the way back down to 80. And I started having the worst attitude. I started to complain. As Brad knows, as Mallory Sondheim knows, I complained and complained and complained. I literally almost was to a point where I wanted to leave Vemma, go back to building my wedding business to $1 million business, which is going well. And I thought, you know what, this thing maybe isn't working for me. And I had all those stupid thoughts from May to July. It was just horrible mindset. And I remember when I'm going to give a lot of credit to Mallory, because I remember I didn't want to go to San Diego at all. I didn't have much interest in going and learning. I was excited just to go to San Diego. What happened to me was, as I sat in on Bob Proctor the very first day on Friday, and like Brad just said, I wasn't a big believer in Bob Proctor either. I wasn't a believer in personal development. In fact, to come clean with everybody that I've maybe fibbed or lied to, I hardly ever did it. The only personal development that I actually engaged in was Eric Worre's GoPro, and that's because I listened to it on iTunes. And even then I listened, but I don't know if I soaked it in. And so Bob talked on Friday, and for an hour changed my whole life. And I know that might sound really corny to some of you guys out there, because I know for me it did when I wasn't ready to hear it. And like Brad, he just held the book up. This book here, I started reading it today. I'm already 55 pages in, writing things down and learning. My entire mindset has changed. And what I found out and realized this weekend, this network marketing, as we've heard, is not easy, but it's better. And for the first time in a year and a half, know, not believe, not think, I know that I will be an ambassador, and I know how I'm going to get there, and I know exactly what I have to do. I have to put all responsibility on myself. I have to personal develop my mind. It's all a mindset. Network marketing, yes, it's working hard, but it's also working smart. It's working within your team, and it is developing your mind to block out all negativity, to let the good things come to you. And what's crazy is for me, just in reading this book today, I've done more personal development today than I have in the last year combined. I'm already feeling so good. There's not a thing in the world that's going to get me to complain. Everybody that knows me is going to see a brand new Ryan Bradshaw. I have a team that I know is going to go to elite levels. I will build leaders that will be elite. If you are on my team, you better strap up and get ready. I'm coming at you face to face with a whole new attitude, because I know it's me. My business dipped from 118 cycles to 80 because it's my fault. I had the wrong mindset. All I did was complain. I was negative. I found everything that was wrong. Any idiot can find out what's wrong with this business. It's easy to point out what's wrong, but it's about pointing out what's right that takes a lot of courage. And there's a lot of things right with Vemma. There's a ton of things right with Vemma. And instead of us sitting back and complaining, it's time to suck it up, because I know that in the next 5 years, this industry is going to take a massive boom. We're in the rough stages. It's like Steve Jobs being in the garage with Apple before it just took off. That's where Vemma's at. We have an opportunity, if we get the right mindset, to build and grow this into the future like no other. And I've never been more excited. I've never been more excited for the challenge. I have a lot of rebuilding to do. I have a lot of rebuilding because I've built this business wrong for the last year and a half. I didn't build leaders. I didn't follow up correctly. I worked hard but not smart. And I personal development. I promise you guys, if you're out there, hard work's going to get you to executive, but executive is squat. If you want to get to the elite ranks, which I know some of you do, you are going to have to develop your mind. I'm so excited to do this. You guys, I wish I could convey my excitement to you. I wish I could literally just transfer the energy I got from this weekend into you, and I can't wait. And it's all going to be in due time with some of you. Some of you will get it, some of you won't. It's okay. But I've never looked more forward to the challenge of rebuilding, finding new people, building leaders that I have already, working with people that I have a lot of confidence in, and it's all because of a mindset knowing that not only that I can do it, but I also believe in my team. I believe in this business, this product. This product is better than anything out there. Sorry, losing my voice. Better than anything out there. I couldn't be more excited, but develop your mind. Put it on your shoulders. If your business isn't growing right now, it's only because of your negative thoughts. And the more negative you think, the more negative you're going to get. I've just read this page in this book, You Were Born Rich, before I close things off here, because I know this is getting long. But it literally says to start, you got to start to train your subconscious mind to believe you already have what you want. And take 20 minutes a night, meditate and think about what you want. Tell yourself you have it. Block out all negativity. Don't let your bank account, if you have $100 in your bank account, your bill collectors, debt, mom, dad, haters, friends, whatever, block them out. Surround yourself with the people that want what you have, and talk to them daily. Do personal development with them daily. We are going to get there. And I encourage everybody to do personal development with me. I'm going to be doing this with some of the leaders of my team. I know Mallory's doing it. I know Christine. I know Jordan Waldo, Brad Sarver. These guys are doing these things, and I'm doing it. Shane Sullivan, John Clifford, Ari, anybody out there, any of you guys, Eric Zapata, I challenge all of you guys to please do this with me. Please. And we're going to go there. We're going to be the team that everybody talks about. Brad, thanks for getting me on, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was amazing, Ryan. Appreciate it, brother. Hey, I could feel your energy through the screen, dude. So you definitely brought it, man. And I appreciate your honesty and just looking back at kind of the phases of business. What is it? It's building, defending, blaming. What's the other one? Forget. Building. Blaming, defending.
We took the notes down this week too.
Yeah, well, whatever. There's all these phases, and everybody's in a different phase, and I think it's you go through a phase, and you got to ask yourself, what phase are you in? Are you building? Are you managing? That's the fourth one. Building, managing, defending, or blaming. There's really no other one that you're in, and I think, you guys, it makes sense for all of us to really stick in the building mode. But you know where you're at. If you have been blaming and defending, you know it. I'm not going to call anybody out. You know it if you've been there, and Ryan just said he was there. And man, what a perfect example of how events truly do change lives. I could talk about that. I know Ryan and everybody else that was there would say, man, get your butt to every event you possibly can. And maybe I'll talk about that really quickly, you guys. Getting to an event, never missing an event. Yeah, we can't hear Ryan. Hopefully he can mute. I'm not sure. He's not getting good reception. But listen, you guys, when it comes to the events, here's how I put it. I was listening to Grant Cardone. He talked about this when it comes to getting to events. It's only a business expense if you don't use the information that you learn. If you don't use the info, then yeah, it's a pretty big expense. But if you do, then it becomes a wise investment in yourself. Man, that's huge. Guys, I know these events cost money. It costs money to come to these things, but I'm telling you what, it's worth it. And Ryan, I think, just proved it by that. So listen, you guys, here's what I want to talk about moving forward. I want to get into like the specifics of Vemma. I'm going to keep you on here about 20 more minutes. Moving forward, you know, I want to talk as far as talking about how to become truly professional. You all, man, we've got to get completely good about not hyping needlessly. We don't need to overhype the income. We don't need to hype up that you're going to get free BMWs. We don't need to hype up even something like health results. We've got to really protect the brand. Act as if you own the company. Act as if you are BK. And the way you carry yourself on social media, the way that what you talk about at home events. You know, some of you saw the Today Show story, and you know, one of the affiliates, a Star Presidential, got recorded with a hidden camera. My advice is that assume you're getting recorded, and assume that the people that you're sitting with are not who they say they are, and they're recording you. Carry yourself as if you own the dang company. Okay, there's no need to overhype it. We don't need to do that, guys. The product is amazing. We don't need to overhype anything. And so that's kind of leading me into the next thing that Eric Thomas talked about. A lot of you guys know Eric Thomas, the hip-hop preacher. You know, he can be really hyped up. You know, you got to succeed as bad as you want to breathe. You got to want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe. All this hyped up, yelling stuff. I got to tell you, you know, Eric Thomas, he came in and he brought a super content-rich presentation that was remarkable. I thought I'd never heard anything like it from Eric Thomas, and he talked about something that resonated with me so strongly, and really, you know, I don't want to, if I offend any of you guys watching, you know, I do apologize, but it needs to be said. Listen, you know, if you're having struggles in the business, and it could be because of this, you know, he talked about the 4 building blocks of business, and here they are. Number 1 is content. Number 2 is commerce. Number 3, community. And number 4, character. You know, a lot of people come into Vemma or network marketing, and they want to talk about commerce. They want to talk about how to make money. That's their biggest concern. That's their focus. Commerce, how to make money, Well, they're forgetting about the other 3. And truthfully, what Eric Thomas had to say is that without the building blocks in the correct order, you're going to have a big, big problem on your hands. And the most important, absolute building block of all is character. And I've been saying this for a while. I want to build my team. I want to build business with people that have the best character, the greatest character, integrity. They are who they say they are. They're going to be where they say they're going to be. They're going to do what they say they're going to do. And there's some of you out there, guys, I got to be honest, there's no wonder you're struggling. Okay, and like I said, I'm sorry if I'm offending some people, but you guys, we need to hear this. This is what Tom Alcazan said to us. Eric Thomas said it. Listen, guys, it's no wonder you're losing people. Okay, and that's the reality. Or it's no wonder you're not getting anybody to join you. Maybe before you got involved with Vemma, you weren't always who you said you were. You didn't always show up. You didn't always keep your word. You didn't do what you say you were going to do. You're lazy. Well, it's no wonder no one's joining you. Okay, we've got to get these building blocks of business in the right order. And if you don't have character, you're nothing else. It's going to be like building a business on sand. You're building a house on a foundation of sand. It's just not going to work. Let's get your character right. Let's teach people on our team. Let's show them how to become more character rich. Simple things you would think, but showing up when you say you're going to show up. Answering your phone, returning a text message, returning a message on time, just doing what you say you're going to do. And this is something we all struggle with. I'm not saying I've never had this issue. I have. But if we don't get our character right, the other things aren't going to come. If you try to build it with bad character, your community is going to be bad, because look at who you're bringing into your house, man. Who are you bringing into your house, figuratively speaking? Who is coming in? Who are you bringing in? If you have bad character, you're probably going to bring in other people with bad character. You're not going to be able to build good community. You're not going to have good content, and ultimately the commerce is never going to happen. But if you can get your character right and then be able to build a good community, get the content good, practice that, become a student of the industry, the money will come. Some people, I'll name off a few people on my team, people like Ryan Bradshaw, people like Jordan Waldo, Eric Zapata, Alex Day. These people, when they got started, they were able to get a lot of people involved right away. The reason is, you guys, they had character. They had a certain level of character and a certain level of trust with people in their lives. People joined them right away. If people haven't joined right away, we might need to work on your character a little bit. This is deep stuff, man, but Eric Thomas just brought this. It was incredible. We got to get our character right. Got to get the character right, you guys. It's who are you when nobody's watching? You know, it's most important. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing more important. Okay, that's it. So, you know, I want to talk about a few things, and I'll be wrapping this up. Tom Alcazan talked with us about a few things that we need to do moving forward to get through this kind of plateau, to bust through this wall that some of us are going through right now. You know, think about this, you guys. I want to focus, as Ryan said earlier, you know, what we're focusing on is going to grow. If you're talking negative all the time, you're going to get more negative. My word of the day is enrolling. Enrolling. That's all I'm focused on right now, you guys. I'm not going to be spending much time doing training. Personally, I mean, I'm going to train the people that I bring in. That's kind of our responsibility with our people that we bring in. But the word of the day that I want us to all be speaking, it should be on the tips of our tongue all the time, is enrolling. Okay? Enrolling on auto delivery. And if you want to talk about, you know, auto delivery and how to really talk about auto delivery the right way and why it makes sense when you're enrolling a customer or a brand partner or affiliate, you know, we can talk about that. Hit me up. We can talk about that. But it's pretty simple stuff, you guys. You know, the product is really meant to be there every month. It's meant to be taken as directed. You know, I've had people that got mad at me because the product didn't show up and they ran out. And those of you guys that love the product as much as I do, you know what that's like when you don't have any product. It's pretty simple to talk about auto delivery, but here's how I do it. If I'm enrolling somebody and they say, oh, I'm not really sure about this auto delivery thing, I say, listen, I appreciate that. Everybody starts on an auto delivery, but here's what I'll say. If you get the product and you absolutely hate it, no big deal. Call me. I'll cancel it. I'll make sure you never get charged again. And that has worked for me repeatedly. And I honestly have never had anybody hate the product and want to cancel right away. So it's a pretty simple stuff. But again, it all comes down to that confidence level and that swagger that you gotta have. So listen, want to keep going through here. What environment, if you're struggling right now, what environment have you placed yourself in? Some of you are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. What environment have you allowed yourself to be in? Let's say that you've been in this thing for a little bit of time. Maybe you haven't gotten to the level that you wanted yet. Have you allowed yourself to go back into a negative environment? Or even an environment that just isn't Vemma? There's no Vemma to be found in your weekly schedule. You're hanging out with your girlfriend that doesn't even like Vemma. You're hanging out with your buddies that used to make fun of you about Vemma, and now you're hanging out with them more than you're hanging out with people in Vemma. Guys, what environment are you in? It's going to be really difficult to grow your business if you're not in an environment that fosters growth. That's common sense, but it needs to be said. And some of you guys, I got to be honest, I can see it on social networking. You can't hide on Facebook. You know, what you post, where you post, who you're with, repeatedly, it's easy to see why some people are struggling right now. You're not in the right environment, and that's something only you can really, you know, decide in your heart if that's you or not. Listen, something that's really near and dear to my heart, you guys, that Tom Alcazan talked about a lot. Some of us in Vemma have gone full-time in Vemma, and we have no business being full-time in Vemma. He actually said 98% of the people in Vemma should not be doing this full-time. If you're struggling financially right now, I've got to be honest. It is going to be really difficult to build your Vemma business. And again, this is my notes from Tom Alcazan, so this isn't coming from me. This is what Tom said. It is going to be really difficult to build your business if you're struggling financially right now. And I got to tell you, he encouraged people in a room full of elites, YPR elite leaders, if you have to go get a part-time job to make ends meet right now, a part-time job, is that such a bad thing? I don't think it is. You guys know when you have a busy schedule how much more you get accomplished. I know what it's like when you have nothing to do. Sometimes you can be less productive. And I would say, listen, if you need to, go get a part-time job. Go back to school. Do something. But if you're like executive or below, in my opinion, you should still have a job. There's really no reason not to. It's the magic of part-time. This business is meant to be done part-time. And let's face it, guys. I mean, I think a much more attractive story to tell is, hey, look, I'm able to earn an extra $3,000 a month part-time. $3,000 a month full-time is not that impressive. Part-time, yeah, it's pretty impressive. And not even to mention the relationships, the people you meet if you go out and get a job. If you have to do that to make ends meet right now, trust me, your peace of mind, your stress levels are going to go way down. I know you don't want to get a job, but think about how much that's going to fuel your fire to go out there and really bust butt. But let's face it, guys, some of us, we got to go back to work. Some of us out there, we've got to go back to work, you guys. That is the way that it just is. So as far as being a business, here's what Tom Alcazan said. This is a business. That's a reality. We're in a business, and we must take care of our business. That means customer service. Check with your customers. Check with your affiliates to see how they're loving the product. If you want to treat it like a business, take care of your business. Call your customers. See how they're doing. Honestly, attrition cannot be stopped, you guys. People are going to quit. People are going to drop off. Tom's advice was don't focus on that. Let's focus on enrolling and training the right way. And as I've been saying lately a lot, you guys, talking with people about expectations of earning $500 to $1,000 a month. Not six figures. We're not going to do any more of this hype, over-promising thing saying that somebody's going to get to six figures. I don't want to be introduced as a six-figure income earner. Please do not introduce. If you're watching this right now and you ever introduce me, please do not introduce me as a six-figure income earner. You can say I do Vemma full-time. Our message of the year and forever on needs to be $500 to $1,000 a month, part-time. You can get there in a year. We don't need to hype it up any more than that, you guys. As I said earlier with the money, the way the money is spread out, most people, the vast majority of the income is paid out to those people that make less than $10,000 a month. Let's stick to that. Listen, you guys, moving forward from here. Here's some things I want to give you guys and leave you with this. As Ryan said earlier, Eric Worre talked about this, and he said Eric Worre believes as an industry, we are still a garage industry. We're still in the garage, so to speak. Microsoft founded in a garage. Google started in a garage. Apple started in a garage. We're in the garage. We have not even gotten started yet. 300,000 people in Vemma worldwide. That's nothing. But as an industry, he really believes we haven't even gotten started yet. If you're in a down period of your life or your career right now, guys, honestly, I know it's tough. I know what it's like. We got to enroll. Let's go back to work. Let's go back to producing. That's when we're all the most happy. Look at your life. Look at your business. What were the activities you were doing on a daily basis when your business was growing the most? I would bet that you're not doing those activities anymore. The worst thing that we did is we sat back and we assumed that because somebody hit gold or diamond that they were going to take care of the newer people. The reality is if we want to stop the slide, we want to move forward, you and I as leaders, we need to be caring for that newest person. Who's caring for the newest person? If we just assume that someone else is, no one is, okay? And that is the problem. We need to take care of our business. We need to take care of our people. We're going to go work with the newest people in our business. That is the key. No more assuming that a gold or anything is going to go down there. So I want to make sure I cover the rest of my notes. Man, I was so impacted by all this stuff, you guys. I really believe we do. We have the ability to reach some crazy new heights. We have the ability to take our team and really produce 10 new elite leaders in the next year. We have that ability. The stage is set for that to occur. It's got to be mental. You've got to see yourself there, believe that you're there. And here, Bob Proctor encouraged us to set some goals. that logically make no sense. And I know it goes against logic. He said, listen, here it is. Set some goals that are so big that you don't even believe it, and it goes against logic. And what happens is your subconscious, as you start to speak that goal over yourself every day, your subconscious starts to believe it. Your subconscious will do whatever it's told. Okay, your conscious mind, you can change that. Your subconscious, whatever you plant in there, it's gonna accept it. So even if you don't believe it, set a big goal. We're gonna have 10 elite leaders on our organization in the next year. Do you want to be one of them? It all boils down to how many exposures are happening in your team on a daily basis. How many new exposures are happening on a daily basis? That's what it boils down to, you guys. Listen, I'm fired up. I'm absolutely fired up, you guys. We are on the verge of greatness. Things right now, the stage is set. Spring follows winter. And even though it's summer right now, our business is in a winter. The good news is what happens after winter is spring. And I believe the stage is set. Body Pro coming out. The body line, we could do an entire Google Hangout on the body line. The body line needs to get more love. People want to lose weight, you guys. Listen, the stage is set for this thing to really explode. And right now, it's going to boil down to who perseveres, who can train their mind, who can have the cojones to stay in this thing. And if that's not you, I wish you the best. I can guarantee you you're not going to like the world outside Vemma. I can guarantee you you're not going to like the alternatives. So as far as I'm concerned, let's stay focused on the mission. Let's stay together as a team. Let's do everything that we can do to stay in the game. And I tell you what, guys, we're going to blow this thing up. So I'm going to leave it at that. It was 56 minutes. I appreciate you guys giving me some time. Definitely encourage you to get these books, Business of the 21st Century, GoPro, You Were Born Rich. Encourage you guys to get all these, whatever you need to do to become a student of the industry. I'm fired up. Shout me out. Get at me this week. Let's connect. And God bless you guys. Let's go out and make next RA period the biggest one of all. Good night, guys. See ya.